what are some of the policies you're putting in place to make sure Africa will come back on their feet?
The first thing that we advocate and we are strategizing around is the question of power. Everything that we are doing, everything that we don't do is simply because of lack of power as African people. And every time you don't have the power, you are subject to those who have the power. Okay. The world is not governed by democracy, by human rights, or by anything that you can think of. The world is governed by power. And whoever who does not have the power will always find himself subject to other people's rule. Exactly, that's the situation of Africa today. When we talk about hunger in Africa, when we talk about unemployment, these are symptoms of a major problem, which is the power. And that powerlessness of Africa is based on the system of government that we have today. So what we are aiming for as ACUP, or the major policy that we are advocating, is the policy of reconstructing Africa, not on the basis of colonial foundation, but on the basis of Pan-Africanist ideas, rebuilding Africa as a global power base. And I'll give you one simple example. In 2016, the military spending of Africa was $46 billion US. At the same time, the military spending of Russia was $60 billion US. You see the difference? Not really huge. It's about $14 billion US. A very small difference. But when you look at the military capability, Africa is not even closer to Russia. Even at that time, Africa was not closer to Russia, right? Africa was far, far beyond Russia. Why? Behind Russia, sorry. Why? Because this money, we have not used it for the building of power. Because when you talk about power, the first thing that you need to look at is to build institutions. This money was used mostly to afford a comfortable life to the head of state, so that they can drive in armored vehicles, they can have mercenaries protecting them. But this money, if it was put together to build the security of Africa, would have been in a better space today, whereby we shouldn't have to worry about France, NATO invading Africa. We take any decision that we want to take, and we achieve that decision, because power, as I said, is the central piece of our struggle for African liberation and emancipation. And that power is nothing else except the ability of violence. When you say that the United States is a superpower in the world, when you say that France is a powerful country in the world, it's not because the United States have morality above African morality. It's not because French have the knowledge beyond what Africa know. No. Knowledge belongs to everyone in the world. The reason why these countries are powerful is simply because they have the means of violence. They can inflict violence on other countries and destroy them. And if Africa wants to stand in the concept of nations toward the end of the 21st century, Africa needs to build its own means of violence. The same way, exactly, the same way.
So you think violence is the right way to go as far as Africa, making sure that we take power is concerned?
Well, you see, the world is in the hands of tyrants and violent people who cannot willingly let that power, or the power that they have, to be taken away from them without fight or without any kind of violence. And you must remember, we as African people, or any other people in this world that have been destroyed, they have been destroyed through violence. We were taken down by means of violence. Today we are Christians, we are Muslims, not because we wanted to be Christian or Muslims, not because of the Holy Spirit came and convinced us. No, it was first and foremost because of gun and violence. You must remember in Kenya, when Germans went there, even Britons, when they went there, they found these people having their culture and their traditions, right? And they started killing these people, and before they kill you, they will baptize you. Actually, they started by taking people from you, exploiting their lands to produce the food that they were producing, and then begin forcing people to produce cartons, which was not in the culture of the people, and then put people into hunger. And when people start protesting, these people start killing other people in Kenya, and before they kill you, they will baptize you and they give you Christian name. So it was not given to us through democratic means. It was forced on us. So if people have used the power and violence to put you down, what then do you have to use in order to stand up?
Well,
power.
Exactly. So I am